Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The Trump administration ordered the termination of more than 6,000 Internal Revenue Service employees last week. Now, according to a federal employees union, that could include roughly 1,000 IRS workers in Kansas City alone. Donna Ginther is here to discuss the potential economic ramifications of this and much more. She is the director of the Institute of Policy and Social Research at the University of Kansas. And Donna, I want to let you know up front, as a proud University of Missouri graduate, our university's spirited sports rivalry will in no way contaminate this conversation. Kansas City. Kansas City, tell me about the federal workforce footprint in Kansas City and the surrounding area.
It's about 3 to 5% of all workers in the Kansas City metro area. There are 30,000 federal employees. A sizable number are employed at the IRS, but also in the Small Business Administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, and then we have Fort Leavenworth nearby in Kansas City. So the metro area is home to many federal workers.
What have been the ripple effects so far of the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to shrink the federal workforce there?
So when we look at, about 3,000 workers, or about 10% of the federal workforce, are probationary. So about 3,000 federal workers in Kansas City are at risk of losing their jobs, and that's before any additional reduction in force. When I looked at job postings today on Lightcast, there were 2,700 jobs that required a bachelor's degree. Most of these federal workers have a bachelor's degree, so it appears that there may not be enough jobs in the Kansas City metro to absorb the number of workers who are losing their jobs.
And I have read studies, Donna, that indicate that an employed federal worker has a multiplier effect in the local economy. What is it there?
The multiplier effect is about 2. So for every dollar spent on federal workers, you get 2 additional workers. So about 6,000 workers may be affected, and then $2 more in economic activity for every dollar spent.
So what are we talking about here in terms of spillover or domino effects in your region and possibly nationwide if these workforce reductions grow even larger?
Well, I'm concerned because, the Federal Reserve has been tightening, increasing interest rates to slow the economy and calm down the labor market so it's not so hot. Well, so the SOM index, which indicates early recession, is ticking up these days. And so we were flirting with a recessionary labor market at the end of the last quarter. And now that we add more unemployment, we could face a recession going forward. But, in general, federal workers spend their money, and that's going to have spillover effects for any types of discretionary spending. If I were a federal worker now, there's 2 million in the United States, I'd be concerned about my job, and I wouldn't spend any money besides food and rent and necessities. And when you looked at consumption being 3/4 of gross domestic product, that can slow the economy really quickly.
So we opened the show, Donna, talking about the implication at the cabinet meeting today, coming from Elon Musk and that echoed by the president, that there are a lot of non-existent federal workers, that they're either dead or they don't exist and they're just getting paid or someone's getting paid. What I'm hearing from you is in the Kansas City area, they're all real.
That's my sense. They're all real. And, if you're leaving a job at the IRS, that's going to affect our tax returns and the processing of our tax returns or answering questions about our tax returns right at the beginning of tax season.
Donna Ginther, again, University of Kansas, excellent university, just a sports rival of my alma mater, the University of Missouri, and there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you very much for your time.